everybody, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by another session of the Hopry. I'm Tim Pratt.
And I'm Mark Starr.
And you might have seen it on TV. There's a little show on Discovery right now. Happens to be called Brewmasters.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, check it out.
There's probably 3 of you who haven't seen it, if that.
But in honor of the show, we're actually going to bring you a beer tonight that we really wanted to share. It is brought to you by Dogfish Head and Sam Calagione and his brewmastering genius. It's quite an interesting beer that we're actually bringing you tonight. It's quite an old style of beer that we're bringing you tonight. It's a Sah'tea. Traditionally, it's dating back to like the 1500s. It's way back into to Finland.
I'm thinking it's definitely going to be a really interesting beer. It's called the Sah'tea, by the way. In fact, it's kind of a play on the style, which is Sah'tea. The style is spelled S-A-H-T-I, and this is spelled Sah'tea with T-E-A, because as they show on the bottle here, that it's an ale brewed with black chai tea and juniper berries. It clocks in at 9%. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, with the juniper berry in there, I mean, everybody's could be familiar with what a juniper berry can do. I mean, think of gin. It's got a kind of almost medicinal quality, but...
You've been into gin lately, haven't you?
I have. I've recently discovered gin. It's good, and specifically Old Tom gin is a good style of gin.
Yeah.
But when you've got that kind of juniper character, well, who knows what's going to happen when you start mixing in, well, traditional chai tea flavors, you know, like cardamom and those kind of things. So there could be a lot going on with this beer. It looks nice in the glass.
Yeah,
I'll say that. Thank you for pouring it, by the way.
No problem. I actually got quite a bit of sediment in mine, but that's, you know, that's fine.
I got some, not as much as you did, but there's definitely some in there. So
it's all right.
You know, reading up on the historical style of a Sah'tea, they're basically turbid beers. So since they don't boil them, you don't get what that hot break is called. So basically on a hot break, it gets all these proteins that are floating in this beer. It gets them to fall out to the bottom.
I see.
So that's one of the things that, you know, will help clear up a beer. And since, you know, they don't traditionally boil it, you know, you're going to have some of that turbidity left over. But sorry, I'm nerding out with the
no, that's fine.
The brewing.
That's fine. I think we should get in there and smell it, though, because what's funny is I can kind of already smell it, and it definitely smells like chai tea, but I think I want to dig in a little bit further.
All right.
You know what's funny is there's like 20 different things I could say this smells like right off the bat, but believe it or not, I can really get this Belgian yeast character out of there.
Absolutely.
And I love that.
Yeah, right off the top, you know, it's you can see, you know, it's got a nice, you know, thick meringue head that's on there, and it carries through with a lot of aroma, and that aroma really is just straight Belgian yeast.
If Band-Aids smelled really good, that's what this beer would smell, or that's what this beer smells like. It's got that sort of medicinal character. I can definitely put, you know, get that juniper twig kind of, you know, aroma out of there. Again with the Belgian yeast, it really does kind of have a chai tea sort of smell, you know.
Yeah. Thankfully, we can't really smell the hot rocks. That probably wouldn't smell nearly as good, but no,
there's give it an earthy character. But
I will definitely go earthy, but not rock. But no, there's some of the spice, you know, that would come out of a chai tea is kind of, you know, underlying underneath some of that, you know, Belgian yeast character.
Well, you know, Tim, I'm one of the first people to say that I don't always get what Dogfish Head does, and you know, I'm not saying that I'm looking to find fault in them. But every bottle of beer that I open, I always am a little bit skeptical. And I'll tell you right now, I'm really, really liking the way this beer smells a lot. Because it is interesting, but there is enough of that traditional Belgian yeast, you know, component underneath all of it that's not allowing it to go too far away from, you know, traditional.
You know, as you're smelling it, I need you to picture something.
Okay.
Big League Chew. The pink Big League Chew.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
It's not that great bubble gum that you can get sometimes out of a Belgian quad. It's almost that.
Totally see that.
I don't even know if it's strawberry, but it's the pink Big League Chew.
Yeah, I definitely get that out of there.
I feel like I should be blowing a bubble right now.
I feel like I should be drinking the hell out of it. All right, man. Not bad. And you know what's funny? Before I even, because usually when I take a drink, I let it kind of sit in my mouth and then I swallow it. And because I really want it to be, you know, all inside my mouth. And there's almost like this buttery texture to it.
Yeah.
And then the flavor just goes.
Yeah. The first thing that hit me was some of the spice. You know, there's definite chai tea spice that's in there, and it's not underlying in this beer at all. It's right up front.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna hit you the minute you drink it.
I really like this, you know, and I'm not going to say I'm surprised, but I'm surprised. I just really like the way this beer tastes.
You know,
now in 20 minutes,
it could be a completely different
beer. I
beer.
could say, you know what, I do not want another sip of this, because there really is a lot of flavor, and it is unique enough that I could see this getting to be a little bit old. I'll put it this way, you know, if you've got 2 or 3 people, or 1 or 2 people to share it with, I think it's great, because 12 ounces is a perfect amount. If I were sitting at, you know, at home by myself drinking this, I think it would probably take its toll. But I think probably what we're going to find a little bit later too, after we stop filming, is that I think some of the characters of this beer are going to start to take a back seat as our palates really kind of adjust to those flavors.
Whether or not it's true to the original, you know, Finnish Sah'tea style,
Yeah.
who knows? But
I've definitely not had a whole lot of experience with the style. Maybe we'll do more this year. You know,
Yeah.
I know New Belgium has one that they just released.
on the Lips of Faith series.
Yeah, that I'd like to try. So,
But I'll say this: some of the Dogfish beers that I've had, one of them I really do enjoy, which is Fort. They have a very almost viscous quality to them, almost a little syrupy because they are so high in alcohol. I mean, this is by no means a lightweight at 9%. I mean,
No.
it packs a wallop, but it carries very well. It doesn't become so overly alcoholic as some of those Dogfish Head beers do.
well, you know, I always get on Dogfish Head for how overly sweet their beers are. And I think one of the reasons why I like this so much is not just because of how good it tastes, but the sweetness level is really in check this time. It's not over the top. It's not cloying. It's not a dry beer, but it's dry enough.
The sweetness is more of a counterpoint to the spice.
Yeah.
Instead of the sweetness being the main player.
Really like it, but
They pulled it off, if that's what they were trying to go for.
I think so. Well, guys, thanks a lot for coming back to yet another session of the Hopry. You know, we're really looking forward to bringing you some more interesting styles in 2011. I think by the time this one airs, we'll be approaching the end of January. But, you know, Tim and I are really excited to, you know, dig into some more styles, more breweries, things like that. And again, because, you know, Dogfish Head is really getting kind of a lot of attention right now. I wanted to get some of their beers on the show, and overall, you know, this one really, you know, exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I'll say it didn't disappoint.
Yeah. Well, cool, guys. We'll see you next time. Cheers.